You want to prove this is who I am and not that.
I think at the end of the day, he certainly, was excited, about being able to get back up there on the stage and to show himself as well as everybody else. I still have it within me, and we often talked about how this was going to be, the greatest triumph, in the history of rock and roll. And Michael was aiming for that, and he was with me, aiming for that. And when I would look into his eyes, and if I questioned him, if I wondered sometimes, if I worried sometimes, it was Michael always that pulled me back and said, calm down, breathe, we're going to get through this, and we're going to arrive, at this dream together the way that we planned it.
As Randy said, you four guys spent more time with him than anybody else in the last few months. Was he fit enough to do even one of these concerts as energetic as they required him to be, let alone 10 or 50?
Talk about it, yeah.
Absolutely.
Go.
We worked together on choreography since 1992. So I had the privilege of moving with him a lot. And, he constantly impressed me. He constantly, re-energized, my desire to, sort of continue being fed by him, creatively. And, it was just a beauty. It was just a beauty to see him. It was wonderful to see him, just taking back his energy, and being in the mirror with him every day. And I always told him, I was like, this is awesome. This is great. He goes, this is it. I was like, yes, it is. And we would just dance and dance and dance. And, contrary to popular belief, he'd listen to other people's music. I'd play rap music for him. He'd play classical music. I mean, it was just a wonderful bonding time. And we'd stretch and we'd, do calisthenics and we'd run. We'd go outside and we'd do jumping jacks. And I mean, it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. He loved ballet. We were jumping. He loved Baryshnikov, so we were jumping around like Baryshnikov. I mean,
he walked in one day and the dancers were going through a ballet class, and he was like, why didn't anyone tell me that
that's
there was a ballet
fair.
class?
I want to do that. So he was so energetic and so into it.
But he was also waking back up again. He shared, he was very open with us and very honest with us and trusting of all of the family that was surrounding him and allowed himself to be vulnerable and not perfect, which was rare because Michael always wanted to look his best in front of people. But he did surrender those concerns this time around. And he would say, whew, my voice is still opening up. Remind me not to sing too hard tonight. I don't want to get notes. Or he would say, wow, I didn't know my body could feel these things, And I'd say, baby steps. Don't pressure yourself. So Michael was building his stamina. But he was on a course. And all of us that were here in this place on Tuesday night, especially because that was a big night. Michael was in wardrobe and we saw it. We saw the triumph in the making, and it was awesome. And
somebody actually had a headline story saying he has no voice left. Whatever he does is going to have to be lip synced, old stuff or whatever.
Let me tell you something, Mike. Not only could he sing, we had to stop him from singing. Right. He was just amazing. His voice was as strong as I had ever heard it sound. Yeah. I was with him closely throughout all musical things. We were scoring things, elements of the show. Working on new musical content, and to do that you actually have to sing. So I would play keyboards, I'd do some things, and he would sing to me and we'd just go back and forth. And I would just go, slow down, Michael. It's like, no, but I need you to feel this. And he had a way to sing to me and to feel and dictate, and often Travis would record it and he would just give me notes about it. No, he could sing.
This must have been such a tantalizing prospect that it's doubly heartbreaking now to know that it's not going to happen.
The reaction of over 100 people in this room that were working, 6 days a week with Michael. People collapsed, fell to their knees, were wailing in personal grief. None of us saw this coming. Michael was, a really complicated individual, and he had moments of great silence and was a very internal person at times that often concerned me, But in the end, it was, Michael was just going to that place where Michael went sometimes. He was the electric performer. He was this awesome father. He was an incredibly generous heart. He was a very private and selective human being. He was many, many, many things.
And complicated.
And
complicated.
And not always there and not always available to you, which was frustrating sometimes.
So doubly heartbreaking for all you guys.
Yes.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, of course it's heartbreaking. And I think the only tragedy will be if we do not, heed his greater message and continue to do the work.
Enough for a tape to put out of the rehearsal? Is there enough material?
I think we've got some of the most compelling and fabulous intellectual property concerning Michael Jackson that the world will see someday.
When, do you think?
I don't know yet. Right now, I want to bury my friend, and then I'll work with the estate and we'll figure that all out.